Hi, I'm Andy Elliott, the CEO of Community Advocates. Community Advocates' mission is to provide individuals and families with advocacy and services to meet their basic needs so they may live in dignity. The Milwaukee Women's Center was founded in 1980 and has been a division of Community Advocates since 2007. The Milwaukee Women's Center provides comprehensive services for men, women, and children whose lives have been affected by domestic violence, behavioral health issues, homelessness, and poverty. I would like to express my deepest appreciation for the thousands of people who took the brave steps towards healing through the Milwaukee Women's Center's program since 1980. I would also like to thank the Milwaukee Women's Center team of staff, volunteers, and supporters for their compassion, their tenacity, and their dedication. Your service to survivors is greatly appreciated. Thank you. The Milwaukee Women's Refuge was founded by Connie St. John in 1980 as a temporary shelter with a crisis line and supportive services for women and children fleeing domestic violence. Back then, the understanding of the experiences of survivors and the type of support they needed was limited. Thankfully, Connie and the other advocates in Milwaukee knew they had to do something, and what they achieved was life-changing.
We were activists. So the women who were the activists in the city of Milwaukee was a woman named Connie St. John, a woman named Connie Shaver, and a woman named Debbie Neese. These three women made all the loud noise about why there should be services for women who were raped and women who were beaten. And the result of some of their activism opened up Sojourner Truth House first, and that's where both Connie Shaver and Constance St. John worked. And Debbie Neese opened up a nonprofit called the Task Force for Battered Women.
The Women's Center was my first job as a therapist out of grad school. And right away, I knew that it was an environment of very strong women that were trying to make moves in the empowerment movement around domestic violence.
Well, a lot of people believe that it was a personal problem. They believe that, you're supposed to solve it within your home. A lot of people thought that it was a religious problem and you solve it in your church, and a lot of issues were left unaddressed.
So what our goal with women was, we didn't pathologize them. We didn't say, you have a DSM category. We said, you are living in dangerous circumstances, you and your children, and we need to come up with a safety plan and a way to keep you safe.
Looking at the family as a whole, and what kind of help can we offer individually and as a whole to kind of keep them together ideally, and also help this new generation coming up.
We were one of the first people who recognized that it was essential to look beyond just the incident to the holistic view of the individual, like how they are with their family, what they're doing in their life outside of just the incident, and not just coping in a sense with the incident of domestic violence and the abuse that had occurred in their life, whether it was something within this incident or was something that had happened, it happened during their childhood trauma, and the way that they're, matriculating through life, essentially.
I think it was groundbreaking in this culture of ageism to have someone like a Carol Seaver who said, we can't think that there aren't women who have been living for 40 years in a violent home. And many of the older women who came in literally had lived. They had no economic ability to live on their own. They were totally economic dependent on their husbands. They had tolerated and maneuvered and figured out how to navigate the violence in their home. They had adult children who had asked them to leave. And leave where? Where were they going to go? So Carol was a groundbreaker in putting together that program.
Many people utilize substances as a way to connect, right? It's a way to cope, it's a way to connect, it's a way to survive. You can't really have a domestic violence safety plan without considering the substance abuse as a coping mechanism.
I heard that the idea came from they were servicing these women that kept running back to the men. So somebody came up with the idea, if we help the men be better men, the women will be going back to a safer environment.
It opened up funding on all kinds of levels. It opened up federal grants through different departments, whether it be substance abuse, mental health, VOCA. It opened up federal funding opportunities, which then resulted in, of course, state funding opportunities broadening. It also gave a message to private foundations to support in their local community programs that worked with family violence. So the ripple effect was wonderful for those of us who were service providers and needed funding. It was wonderful.
It was just so fun, just the action and the families and the clients and everybody together, having this opportunity to walk against family violence. Let's stop this ridiculousness. Let's stop this pain and suffering, and let's find a better way to communicate.
Some of the work that he did was remarkably powerful work. And he and I did a lot of workshops together. Him saying, this is why I partnered with this nonprofit around this issue. This is the strategy of how you can go back and get people like me to join your cause. I called community advocates and asked to speak to Joe Volk, and he agreed that he would help. And that was how the merger happened.
The strategy really was around that, knowing that community advocates' strength was really that housing piece and then those wraparound services, and knowing, Carrie was really kind of a visionary, knowing that not only were the issues of domestic violence at a crisis level, but there were also issues of poverty that families were experiencing, and she kind of saw that having a match between community advocates, really the basic needs, that housing services would really complement the work that they were doing in the domestic violence area.
We are one of the larger shelters in Milwaukee. We are a 75-bed shelter, and we provide a variety of resources that other shelters don't provide. And we're the only dual shelter. So our shelter is for women and children fleeing domestic violence, well, men, women, and children fleeing domestic violence, and families experiencing homelessness.
Milwaukee Women's Center has been just a really powerful force in the community, and having time to speak with Carrie Tradewell Balistreri and Stormy Mercandal about the early years has been really impactful for me. And life is hard, and being able to be there for other people, to be that rock and help them through their difficult times. That's what it's all about. That's why You know, at the base level, that's why Community Advocates exists, and that's why Milwaukee Women's Center exists, and I'm just so honored to be part of it.
To know that the Milwaukee community has the quality programming through Sojourner, through the Milwaukee Women's Center, through Community Advocates, through the Waukesha Women's Center, to know that these services are still available and have morphed into different programming to provide help. Oh, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful.
We are proud that the hard work, vision, and the spirit of Milwaukee Women's Center clients, staff, and supporters lives on today. Each day, the Milwaukee Women's Center is a place of refuge and healing for survivors of domestic violence. Milwaukee Women's Center is truly a safe space where abuse ends and hope begins. Thank you.